Yes, indeed. The ad may be old, but it's still relevant. The World of Warcraft store is effectively now in association with WoW Radio. Anything you buy from there, a couple of dollars of it goes to us. And we have had some cash out of it, but not as much as we'd like. Anyway, we are raising money today, and we need it. It's that simple. We're buying, hopefully, 2 expensive video cameras and the necessary equipment to broadcast BlizzCon live to you. Now, if we don't get this money, we simply won't be able to do what we intend to do. We intend to record everything in fantastic quality, stream it out live to you, catch everything as it happens, and of course produce a DVD of the event for sale after the event itself. If we don't get the equipment, we can't do it. So, it's kind of relying on you. Now, I'm fundraising today, and it is an epic battle. Yes, I did say epic. It's a battle between those who wish to hear me sing karaoke towards the end of the show, and those who do not wish to hear me sing karaoke towards the end of the show. Now, the people who put the most money into a particular choice win it, and I can tell you at the moment that it's very, very even indeed. There's still everything to play for. So, start donating right now. WCRadio.com. Donate bar is on the right-hand side of the screen. If you have PayPal or credit card, you have no excuse. Okay. Now, working as intended. You know what it sounds like, but I'm going to play it again just to torment you. It's working, yeah, it's working as intended, baby. Indeed, it's working as intended. This is the part of the show where we get you to engage your brain before using the internet. So, can you solve this week's mystery? It's a mystery! Well, it's not really a mystery. It's more of a conundrum. So, now, we have seen this week new Silithus item content. Now, as you are well aware, many items have a "of" suffix. So, Master's Robe of the Eagle, Master's Robe of Fiery Wrath, etc., etc. Now, we've seen new things being introduced. Combination suffixes of sorcery, of restoration. For instance, of restoration gives you both healing and mana regeneration. Of sorcery gives you damage and something else I can't quite remember. The point of the matter is combination suffixes. Now, I'd like to know, is this going to be the future of item creation? Is this the way to go? Do you have other ideas of how future items can be created without simply piling more and more and more stats, giving a bigger variety to the amount of items which are viable to use in World of Warcraft? Can you think of any? Do you have some grand scheme for the future of WoW item drops, item crafting, item quest rewards? I want to hear from you. TheMurloc@gmail.com is the email address. TheMurloc@gmail.com. It does not have a K after it. Some people keep typoing K and saying, why did my email get there? It's because you spelled it wrong, you silly fool. The Murloc. M-U-R-L-O-C. That is it. The Murloc. No spaces. The Murloc. You know you love it. Okay. So, while you are dredging your brains for that, I'm going to go back to another topic. Game immersion. Now, I was talking about this earlier, as you're well aware, saying that the Silithus content gives more game immersion. It gives a background story to what you're doing in there in the first place. Why am I here? Why was I in Silithus before? To grind Essence of Air. Why am I in Silithus now? To assist the Cenarian Hold in discovering the mystery of the Shifting Sands. That sounds a lot better. Yeah, I'm not on an RP server, but I still appreciate that kind of thing. And as far as I'm concerned, everyone should appreciate game immersion. If you're playing this game to simply farm and be the fat epic master, then perhaps your gaming has been misplaced, and you should be playing Lineage instead. It's a very rich world that Blizzard have created. It's been around for 10 years now. Over 10 years, possibly. The Warcraft world has a lot of potential. It's violent, it's steeped in culture, it's got a good background story. And it has game lore up the wazoo, as Leto's show on Mondays demonstrates. Tune into that, the Ancient of Lore, plug. So, there are various other things that are ruining game immersion. And what I'm going to discuss now is the compromise between freedom of expression and game immersion. What I'd like to point out first would be the idea of a naming convention. Now, a certain popular webcomic, also known as Control-Alt-Delete, which I read religiously, did a post on his front page. Tim Absath did a post on his front page. And what he said was this: he is sick and tired of seeing dude-speaking morons with stupid names, like Killer, which is the name of a priest on our server, and he should be killed because he's a ninja-looting bastard. Elite Dude, Sniper, Skull Crusher. This is not particularly good, let me put it that way. Now, what he said was, you are ruining my game immersion. Get the hell off my server. And quite frankly, I would have to agree with him in some respects, but not others. Before I'm accused of hypocrisy, the name of my in-game main is Total Halibut. That is not remotely related to anything other than the naming convention we used to have in Planetside for our guild, where everyone would take a name with halibut in it. So we'd have halibut, pork halibut, halibut surfer, halibut strap-on. Yes, I'm not kidding, we were a strange guild. Now, being the numpty I am, I didn't ask before joining World of Warcraft whether or not we'd be sticking to those name conventions. So, logging in, I realised that I was the only idiot who decided to keep their halibut name. So, I'm left with this name. I thought, well, I'm going to stick with it, because I like it. So, Total Halibut it was. Total Halibut is now level 60, has been for a while. Now, the question I often ask myself is, as Total Halibut, am I ruining other people's game immersion by being such a silly named character? And I am unsure. I play on a PvP server, so I would assume that the name matters less than an RP server would. Maybe even a PvE. In the whole soup, the massive great swamp of game-ruining, immersionless drivel that is spouted on trade chat, yells, in parties, is one name really that relevant? It's a sort of a moral dilemma. I've come to the conclusion that in such a massive swamp of immersion-ruling drivel, it's not particularly relevant. However, there are lines to be drawn. I think people have to realise that their name gives a reflection on how their character is. For instance, a ganking group in Silithus, a couple of nights ago on my server, consisted of the names Devil Killer, Serial Killer, and Sleeper Cell. So the famous Night Elf Druid known as Sleeper Cell, Devil Killer, and Serial Killer, another Night Elf Druid. Now, I don't think I've seen anything more ridiculous than two Moonkin chasing me down, named Serial Killer and Sleeper Cell. If I had any immersion in the game at this point, it's been totally evaporated by that. I can't take that seriously. I almost fell around laughing and almost let them gank me. But that, of course, would be unacceptable. They are alliance, and they died, as they should do. Why would anyone pick a name like that? Is it simply because they're young and immature? Maybe they want to do it simply to irritate people. Perhaps they think it's actually cool. Maybe they should rate themselves like a Power Rangers, for instance. An interesting puzzle. So, as Total Halibut, am I the lesser of two evils? Is it even relevant that my name is Total Halibut? Am I ruining other people's gaming experience by being called Total Halibut? It's an almost impossible problem to solve. Dude-speaking morons ruin the game for a lot of people. That we are always well aware of. You've seen it every single time. You'll have experienced ninja looting. You'll have experienced stupid group members that have no idea what they're doing. For instance, A mage that pulls the aggro on a few elites and then whinges when the priest doesn't get around to healing him. A warrior that tanks with a two-hander. It happens. There are people who don't know how to play the game properly. And that does ruin immersion to a respect. But can you stop them? No. It can't be done. You can blacklist as many people as you want from your raids and groups, but inevitably someone else will sneak their way in there and do something incredibly stupid. And whatever epic quest you are on, venturing into the bowels of the Temple of Eternal Evil, will evaporate in an instant when someone yells "water plux" several times over and then calls you a noob for not giving them a 60 crystal water. Can you stop it? Absolutely 100% no, you cannot. It cannot be done. It's impossible to get rid of all the idiots. But it raises an interesting question, and the best questions are ones you can never answer, because I don't have to find an answer that's right, and therefore you can't call me wrong. Haha! Losers. Anyway, you're of course listening to Blue Please here on WoW Radio. Now, we have had since the dawn of time a feature called Ask the Murloc. And I would like to play you the original Ask the Murloc, just for the sake of it. I haven't heard the original Ask the Murloc for ages, so I'm going to play it for you. What the hell was that all about? How bizarre. So, the Murloc, yes. Our resident Agony Ant, putting the agony back into Ant. This is the original. This is the absolute first Ask the Murloc that was ever recorded. So for all those new to the show, and all those who just want a little bit of nostalgia, this is the one. And this is, most certainly, I should certainly hope so anyway, the only
Ask the Murloc.
Dear Murloc, I've been a paladin since launch, but I don't have a lot of luck in PvP. Do you have any tips as to how I can improve my survivability?
Aha! There's a stinking, sniveling coward hiding under a few feet of plate armor and a gazillion buffs. I would think the answer would be obvious even to someone as stupid as yourself. If you spot any of these airship-threatening horde players within 3 miles of your location, simply gauge Divine Shield and use your Hearthstone. Using this honorable technique, you will ensure that your shiny armor doesn't get any of your filthy entrails all over it next time an orc decides to make mincemeat out of your poncy posterior. Ha!
Ask the Murloc.
Dear Murloc, I'm having trouble earning enough money for my mount. No matter how much I try, I can't grind enough. Please help me.
Ah, my dear boy, the answer is simple. Stop spending, noob. Ha! No, but seriously, pay attention. See those trade skills? Yeah, the pretty buttons. Use them. Build some worthless junk and then palm it off some idiot on the auction house. Work out what people want and then flog it to them at an overinflated price. Christ, it's like no one has a basic grasp of economics these days. Kindly die with a mirror of fuss. Ha ha!
Ask the Murloc.
Dear Murloc, I am a human male, and I've fallen in love with a female Tauren from Bloodhoof. Like a tragic Romeo and Juliet scenario, our factions are at war and our union would never possibly be approved. Can you offer any sagely advice?
Ah, yes, my dear chap, I can indeed provide you with some exceedingly sagely advice for just such an occasion. For God's sake, man, you're talking about screwing a giant cow here. Seek help at all costs. Ha ha ha!
Ask the Murloc.